Hello everybody, I'm Joel. We are Silver Arrow Cars and I'm here with a very iconic car. Iconic for a lot of reasons, maybe with its ties to Lamborghini and the Gallardos, maybe because of Iron Man and you remember it from the Iron Man movie, or maybe you're just a lover of large displacement and manual transmission cars. This is our 2014 Audi R8 V10 with the gated 6-speed manual transmission. This of course is a very rare car because it has that manual transmission, but also because it is a facelift year. The first generation Audi R8s, which is what this is, they existed from 2008 to 2015. And then 08 to 12 was our North American first generation. There was a facelift that happened. We had no 2013 model year. And then in 2014, the Audi R8 was back at dealers in the North America with the facelift. And this is one of what I believe, and you'll probably find the same thing, this is one of probably 120 cars delivered to North America, so Canada, including the US, with the V10 in a coupe with the manual transmission. Now, I say that because that is specifically, I think, the car or the variant of the Audi R8 that we all want and we all think about. The V10, the manual transmission, a coupe, and then if you can find one, the facelift version, which is a big deal in Audi R8 land. So what more is there to know if you're thinking about one of these for the first time? I've sold quite a number of these cars. It's been a fair number of years, as in the last couple, people are really starting to hold on to these cars and covet them, and for very good reason. They're an amazing car to drive. They have pretty low servicing in regards to long-term ownership compared to other cars in their segment. Massive power, really drivable. As I said, they came out in 2008. I believe that is when Audi soft launched them with the Robert Downey Jr. movie, Iron Man, and we saw it roll up out front there. And then, so from 2008, 2009, 10, 11, and 12, they built the R8 both with a manual transmission or an S-tronic. The S-tronic was the single clutch automated manual transmission. And they built them in V8s and they built them in V10s. And then, as I said, 2013, there was a pause year. They were still delivering in the rest of the world, but North America did not receive 2013 model years. So then you move to 2014. And as I said earlier, that is when they came out with the facelifted front end, the new headlights. So a refresh, or a 0.2, if you will. So 14 and 15 were those last years of that. Now, at that time, sales were slowing down, production was slowing down, which is why there was so few of these built in all variants. It doesn't matter in 14 and 15 which car you're looking at, they were pretty low production numbers. From what I know, in a manual transmission V10 coupe, there's 730 over the entire production run for the USA, and then you can sprinkle in a little bit for Canada. Very few were delivered to Canada, as most manufacturers do for all highly coveted and specialty cars. So what does that mean? Well, I think the thing to leave out is then a dual clutch transmission was offered from 14 and 15. So 14 and 15, they slowed down even more on the manual transmissions as the dual clutch to keep up with PDK from Porsche came out, and I believe it's the Gertrag transmission that was used in, say, 458s. So they came out with their dual clutch at the same time. Crazy low production, extremely fun to drive. Of course, these are quattro cars. Your horsepower is up into the 500s. I think we're at 525, 400 foot-pounds of torque. And that beautiful sounding V10 is the same engine used in the Gallardo, and then essentially the same engine then used again, I believe, in the Huracan. So a lot of DNA shared through the German automotive group, the Volkswagen group that owns Lamborghini, Audi, Volkswagen, all the rest. So Very special car, very few of them built. And I think the market has spoken as far as the rarity on the V10 manual coupes. Also rare in the manual transmission Spider as well, but these cars, highly desirable, super fun to drive, and for very good reason. So let's talk about this car specifically. This car, as I said, is a 2014 model year. There's so many breakdowns of the production numbers. I cannot remember how many were produced only in 2014, but it is very, very small. Very, very small. But this one specifically, this was delivered new through FAF Audi in Toronto, Ontario. They are a large dealer group headed by Chris Pfaff. Very well respected, big in Porsche and Audi, as well as some other brands like McLaren. So this was delivered new in Ontario to the original owner. That is where it lived its entire life until it came to us. This is finished in Ibis White, which looks beautiful and accented by the factory carbon Sigma side blade. That is what the option was called, Sigma side blade. So this panel here, this floating carbon fiber panel, that was an option itself, the Ibis White. It was also optioned with what were originally the titanium, the five twin spoke titanium finished wheels. The owner opted to have these changed to a gloss black. The car is from the factory with what I believe was called the black optics package, but looking at the build spec from the Audi dealer, their system calls it the black styling package, which refers to the grills here in the front, on the front there, the emblems, and then the grille in the back. These cars, this one specifically, was also optioned with the red interior, and when red interior essentially ends up being a two-tone interior. So you've got the electronically adjustable and heated sport seats. Those are finished in red leather. And then you've got black throughout the rest of the interior. It has the black styling package on the interior as well, so you get piano black trim. It has an upgraded carbon fiber steering wheel. The V10 cars, they came with a factory Bang & Olufsen sound system. So it has a Bang & Olufsen sound system in it as well. And I believe that rounds out the options. This car had the carbon fiber engine bay. I believe this was added afterwards, but looks very factory. It has the correct cowl here right by the two intakes, and then the surrounding carbon fiber throughout the engine bay, which you're gonna see in the video as well. The V10 had the big, massive exhaust outlets through the bumper in the back, the big round exhaust outlets through the back, and then you can see into and around the exhaust system through the venting. So that is the car, that is how it's optioned. This car currently has 13,800 miles or 22,500 kilometers. It is in impeccable condition throughout. It is a clean Carfax history car. It is original paint throughout or around the car. The entire car, the previous owner had protected with paint protection film. So the entire car, roof, doors, pillars, carbon side blade, everything is all protected by paint protection film. A new set of tires was also installed. These are date coded 2023 and basically have all their life left on them. We sent the car to Audi and had a service completed and an inspection completed. So that is part of the documents that come with the car as well. It retains both of its original keys, its original owner's manuals. A very, very complete car, inspected by Audi and serviced by Audi as well. A big thing to note, and something to know about the Audi R8, and especially, well, not especially the V10s, the V8s were the same. These cars came from the factory with a magnetic dampened, electronically controlled shocks at each corner. Earlier I had talked about what there is to, well, not what there is to know about them, but the serviceability, that they are a fairly, in the grand scheme of things, inexpensive supercar for servicing, indicative of German engineering. The one thing that these cars always, every single one we got, didn't matter the mileage, had, and something that you wanted to check out when you were buying the car, is, do the struts leak? Well, those factory struts always leak. They always have moisture, and they're always failing. And through your ownership, you could probably do 2 sets, potentially, depending on your ownership. And they're very expensive. Each corner is about $2,500. It does give you the magnetic controllable ride, which generally not many people use. This has a very nice static ride in the firm position. This car specifically actually had that entire system upgraded. So the magnetic dampened shocks were removed with the right electronics to not set off any errors in the car, and it was completely upgraded to fully adjustable and dampened Öhlins coilovers. As we all know, Öhlins coilovers or Öhlins shocks are of the highest quality, and the investment was made to swap out at all 4 corners to Öhlins from the OEM magnetic shocks. Other than that, the car is factory and in impeccable condition. We'll show you through some of the video and the pictures, but a really special car. So maybe something that would be great to communicate to you for anyone that hasn't driven one of these cars. I certainly haven't driven everything in the world, but I've driven a lot. And I have a very large and very soft spot for the V10 manual transmission R8s. I do love the V8s as well. They certainly have their place, but like a lot of people, I like power. I like power. I like being able to cut the car loose a little bit if you're in an area where you can do that. Being that it's a quattro car and that it has that 520, 525 foot-pounds or horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, it's enough power that you can do pretty much what you want with the car. If you want to break it loose, no problem. Being that one of the calling cards of this car was the even balancing front to rear and being a mid-engine car, extremely easily controlled. If you get it a little bit loose, it's really easy to get it back in line. A lot of that has to do with the balancing of the car, but then also being a quattro and all-wheel drive car, as that system kicks in and pulls you out of a skid or in and around a corner. Driving it is a ton of fun. Not on this car, but it is pretty typical for people with these cars to add Akrapovic exhaust with the controllable baffles. These sound amazing. If you add exhaust to them, it is not detrimental to the value. It's kind of not plug and play, but it's an easily bolted on thing. These cars with an exhaust system sound amazing. And the fun of going through those gears in a gated transmission is undeniable. I think these have always, I wouldn't say sat in the shadow, but most people always default to 911s. But in 2014 and 2015, right at the end, so maybe I haven't emphasized that enough, 2014 and 2015, they were the facelift, but they were also the end. So that was the last time you could get a manual transmission in an Audi R8. From that point on, there's never been one. So in 2014, 2015, to get a V10 manual transmission, gated manual transmission in a modern coupe and this kind of power, you didn't have any comparable options other than, say, a GT3 or the GT cars from Porsche. In 2014, 2015, turbos, they no longer had the option of a manual transmission. That ended with the 997 turbo, which is actually behind us and up next. So there wasn't kind of direct comparables to this car, as this is really streetable. A GT3 car is going to be a lot more firm, rigid, and feel more like a track car on the road, whereas these cars, this feels like something you can daily drive and you can take out for groceries or do whatever you want in it. It's very comfortable and it has great manners until you want it not to. So the car that you are perhaps purchasing is pretty damn close to perfect right around the car. I really don't have anything to point out. As I already said, the car measures and is indicative of original paint. Yes, it has paint film protection or paint protection film on it all the way around the car. But as far as the trim and paint, mirror caps, wheels, front bumper, I really don't have, I'm pretty good at nitpicking. I really don't have much to point out. Sure, the license plate bracket has a couple marks on it, but that's going to be covered up. The grille, the black on the grille, it has the odd small nick, but you have to get pretty close to nitpick that. The entire front bumper, the headlights, very, very minor wear or pitting to them. They are covered now in PPF anyway. And then the wheels, everything else on the car is extremely, extremely tidy. And the same thing goes for the interior. You know, these modern cars, whenever we're reviewing and going through a older car, I'll spend quite a bit of time picking out the small things, but with cars like this, such low mileage, obviously coveted by previous owners and well taken care of, there's really nothing that I need to point out to you. The entire interior is extremely clean. The door sills, the illuminated door sills, I don't know if we talked about that, all of which are in extremely, extremely good condition. The sound of the closing of the door on the Audi R8 is extremely satisfying. So hopefully I've educated you and you have a better sense of this car by all the video and all the talking I've done. So let's bring it all together. This is a 2014 Audi R8 V10 manual transmission. 14 and 15 are the two last years of the R8 in a V10 manual, and 14 and 15 are the only two facelift years of the R8. So there's the first gen, and it's split at 2014 and 15. Previous to that, it has an older look to the exterior. The car has 13,800 miles, 22,500 kilometers. This is its factory paint in white, protected with paint protection film. The car is serviced and inspected at Audi. The tires are basically new. This is a wonderful example of a very rare car. This is a car that we're offering to you from our Blaine, Washington warehouse. We have a warehouse in Newport Beach. We have a warehouse in Blaine, Washington, and then we have our headquarters here in Victoria. If you have any questions, please reach out. I am Joel. We are Silver Arrow Cars. And I really look forward to talking to you, whoever decides to take this car home. We sold a very similar car to this with 11,000 miles in a 2011, so a non-facelift, higher production year. It was white on black. I believe we sold that car for 197,000. So it'd be very interesting to see the premium that both it should pull and what we'll see in the end for a facelift version, end of production for the manual transmission V10 Audi R8. If there's anything I can do or anything you have to sell, please contact us. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.